Welcome back to the channel. Thank y'all for hanging with me on this Wednesday. So we're getting to the golden hour. The garden is planted and I have a few things here that I use in bass fishing, specifically around the spawn. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how I use a tomato stick or a sinking bobber anytime I'm trying to be a little bit more stealthy around bedding fish. And then when you have pollen, I use one of these pressurized pumps. There's a couple other options you can use. I'm basically going to talk about how I use this to catch more fish in that. So when it comes to the tomato stick, sometimes you can't even get within distance of you seeing them. This is typically going to happen around tannic water where it's just dark. You can't see those fish, and those bigger fish will sometimes spawn in 5 or 6 feet of water to where you for sure can't see them unless you're super close and they can feel your presence and they're not going to bite. So what I will typically do, and again, this is mostly in tannic water when they're spawning at least deeper than 4 or 5 feet, is get a location of the bed and you'll just get a little glimpse maybe of the black tail. You know, a bass's tail has like almost a black stripe when you look on it from above it and you see it in the water. But just get a little bit of glimpse of the fish and then drop this, you know, probably 5 or 6 feet, maybe further, 10 feet away from the bed to where they're not feeling your presence, but you can just get a little bit of a glimpse of the fish. Put this in the water. So this stick is about 4 feet. So only this much of it will be coming out of the water, or even it will be underneath the water a foot. But to where you can see the stick and then cast past the stick, you know, 10 feet, however far away you place it. And this is going to be a really good way to come back, drop an anchor, drop your power poles, whatever you use, and just sit there. Or you can even just kind of troll around, but just know that the stick is a really good reference spot. And that's pretty much it. And if the stick isn't something you want to use, I've also used these sinking bobbers. So they float a little bit. They'll sit underneath the water to where you can see them. Maybe you're fishing around a bunch of people. You don't want them to know that there's a fish there or whatever. So one of these sinking bobbers, put it on 4 feet of line with a split shot on it, drop it in there, and then back way off that fish so you're not at all messing with, you know, he doesn't have any idea that you're there, he or she, and then make your cast blind fishing for a fish that you know is there. You still have to hook the fish in the mouth. You know, it's not like you can back way off knowing a fish is there and then not hook it in the mouth. You still have to hook it inside the mouth, but this is a really good tool anytime you're having those bigger females that are a little bit skittish or you just can't see them at all. Really good reference point. I always keep these in my boat during the spawn. And the last one is, you may have seen this on TV, wondered why a guy had one of these next to his trolling motor. You'll also see people use super soakers, which exact same thing, pressurized, where they can mix in a little bit of Dawn and a lot of water. And that's going to help the ripples and the pollen that is on the surface. Pollen and spawning fish go hand in hand. So typically when you are fishing around the spawn, there's a lot of trees, you're going to have a lot of pollen. Just give it a spray across the surface, set it down. That's going to make to where you can see those bedfish. But I think that's, you know, things that I've learned along the way. I think Anthony Gagliardi was the one that I first saw this with, fishing with him. And then the tomato stick, that's an old St. John's trick. Tannic water, dark water, you can't always see the fish. Just get little glimpses of it. It swims in the bed, swims out. You just kind of have a good idea where it's at. Put a tomato stick in, move the boat even further back and make blind casts. But try that if you're fishing around the spawn. You may be struggling seeing the fish. Good luck to you, and I'll see you on the water.